on elsewhere, but you've decided that you're going to be spending time with us right here on this station. This we give thanks for the patronage, and we want to say continue to do just that. And of course, if you do that, we will continue to do what we have to do on this side. Thank you so much, and good morning to you wherever you are across Jamaica and the world. And you're tuned in now at this time to us here on this station. The news is up next. A very pleasant morning to you, and welcome now to our platform. That's the radio platform on nrpmediaja.com, Facebook, and YouTube at NRP Media JA. It's Wednesday, April 24, 2024. I am Leon Nash with the NRP Break of the Day Newscast. Here are the headlines. Confusion abounds this morning as reports and counter reports purported to be from the Integrity Commission suggesting a recommendation has been made for former Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Dwayne Vaz, to be formally charged for corruption. Young Jamaica, the youth arm of the Jamaica Labour Party, calls on PNP President to take immediate action in light of the damning Integrity Commission recommendation. Government has formally filed an appeal in the retirement age dispute now before the courts. And in sports, 2 Premier League footballers have been arrested in connection with an alleged rape. The news today is brought to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations whatsoever. Celebrating 3 years since our inception, the NRP brand of radio and other social media platforms on NRP Media JA is your newest online platform accessible for the promotion of your church and community activities, along with news and sports related information. It's the platform you have been longing for. So call us today at 876-336-9928 or email us at nationalreligiousmedia@gmail.com.
NRP Media and Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations.
Now for the news in detail. More confusion abounds this morning as reports and counter reports purported to be from the Integrity Commission suggesting a recommendation has been made for former Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Dwayne Vaz, to be formally charged for corruption. In what seems to be a doctored report circulating, the Integrity Commission is reported as having made the recommendation on the basis that the former Member of Parliament and current candidate for the PNP has not complied with its request to declare his finances. However, a letter dated May 18, 2021 seemed to suggest otherwise and provides the former Member of Parliament with a clean slate as having complied with the Integrity Commission's request. Meanwhile, Young Jamaica, the youth arm of the Jamaica Labour Party, has called on Mark Golding, president of the People's National Party, to take immediate action, that is, in light of the damning recommendation from the Integrity Commission regarding Dwayne Vaz, the former Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland. The Young Jamaica says that the Integrity Commission's recommendation for charges to be laid against Vaz for breaching the Integrity Commission Act cannot be ignored. It says it is imperative for the integrity of Jamaica's political system, that swift and decisive action is taken. The Young Jamaica added that as a caretaker for Central Westmoreland, Vaz's alleged misconduct undermines the trust between the electorate and their representatives. Furthermore, Young Jamaica condemns the leader of the PNP, Mark Golding, for what it says is an attempt to divert attention from this serious issue by perpetuating false narratives about the so-called illicit six, to deflect attention from a member of his inner circle facing serious allegations. This manipulation, the Young Jamaica says, of the truth is claims is let me read it again. The manipulation of this truth, the Young Jamaica claims, is a disservice to the Jamaican people and tarnishes the reputation of the country's democratic process. Young Jamaica President Ron Walsh, in a release, demanded accountability from Mr. Golding for his role in setting this misleading narrative and also urged him to apologize to the Jamaican people for attempting to deceive them. Meanwhile, the former Member of Parliament, Dwayne Vaz, has quickly sprung to his defense in the matter. In a clarification and response to the reported parliamentary report, Mr. Vaz noted that following the discussions in Parliament yesterday regarding the said allegations, he pointed out that in March 2020, he filed his initial statutory declaration for the year ending 2019. Mr. Vaz says that the Integrity Commission then asked for further information from a specific entity with which he's associated. He reported that he faced unforeseen delays in accessing the information, but remained in constant communication with the Commission and sought extensions to gather the required documentation. He further indicated that on February 18, 2021, he was informed by the Commission of a potential fixed penalty for the delayed submission of the request information, but fully complied by submitting the requested information by March 2021. Mr. Vaz says the Integrity Commission confirmed that his statutory declaration up to December 31, 2019 was duly completed in accordance with the provisions of the Act. He says that 3 years later, he received a summons to appear before the Halfway Tree Court on charges of failing to provide required information to the Integrity Commission. The hearing was held on April 9, 2024, which he says brought to light a misunderstanding regarding the charges which appeared to contradict the 2021 confirmation of the compliance from the Integrity Commission. Mr. Vaz confirmed that he was subsequently charged for failure to submit declarations, which is untrue and has been verified by the May 18, 2021 letter he received from the said commission. Mr. Vaz added that the court recognized the inconsistency in the information presented and gave him the opportunity to review the commission's documentation and to return to court on April 30 when the matter is to be heard again. Mr. Vaz added that it was evident that the lawyers representing the Integrity Commission were unaware of the May 18, 2021 letter from the Integrity Commission, and the embattled former Member of Parliament says he is fully committed to maintaining the highest standards of integrity and transparency required by the Integrity Commission and will continue to engage cooperatively with all legal processes. The government has moved to formally recognize the state of Palestine by let me do it again. The government has moved to formally recognize the state of Palestine, and this move has been commended by at least one notable person living in Jamaica who is a Palestinian of Palestinian descent. A news release from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs noted that the decision was taken following a meeting by cabinet on Monday this week. Jail S. Dabdoob, in a letter to Prime Minister Andrew Holness, thanked the government for doing what he said was the correct and just action in recognizing the state of Palestine. According to Mr. Dabdoob, the government's action is a start in the right direction to reaffirm the country's position on self-determination, adherence to international law, and issues of human rights. He further claims that the move also sends a strong message to the rest of the world, for which he is and the Palestinian community are elated. Mr. Dabdoob further called on the government to not forget that there remains a genocide taking place in Palestine, allegedly being carried out via state-sponsored terrorism, and to play a part to removing the barriers to peace by condemning this genocide, condemning illegal Israeli settlements, condemning the forced displacement of Palestinians, and mass murder of Palestinians. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security Dr. Horace Chang has reiterated the government's commitment to strengthening security measures to foster a conducive environment for real estate investments in Jamaica. Dr. Chang, who was addressing the Realtors Association of Jamaica's International Real Estate Conference and Homeowners Expo 2024 at the Montego Bay Convention Center in Rosal, St. James, said the administration recognizes the contribution of real estate investments to national development and has dedicated significant resources to ensuring a safe environment for such developments. He says these include spending to boost police resources and personnel, noting that the Jamaica Constabulary Force complement now stands at 14,200 from previous levels of 9,000 to 11,000 officers. Dr. Chang says it is important in recognizing the benefit of real estate development and what it brings to the country. As such, the government intends to put in place the necessary supporting regulatory infrastructure to ensure that investors can freely do business with the country. The government has formally filed an appeal in the retirement age dispute now before the courts. In a release yesterday, the Ministry of Justice revealed that the government in 2017 introduced the Pensions Public Service Act 2017, initiating a policy shift to extend the retirement age of public officers from 60 to 65. It says this change was further cemented by the Constitution amendments of Sections 96(1) and 121(1) Act 2023, which specifically adjusted the retirement ages for the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, and the Auditor General from 60 to 65. It further pointed out that on April 19, 2024, the full court delivered a judgment in the case of Philip Paulel et al. Versus the Attorney General of Jamaica. The Justice Ministry says the court upheld the constitutional amendments, confirming the valid extension of the retirement age for these positions to 65 years. However, despite this affirmation, the court ruled that the current DPP, that should be Paula Llewellyn, could not remain in her position until age 65, creating a significant contradiction within its verdict. In response to this conflicting outcome, the government, represented by the Attorney General, has filed an appeal with the Court of Appeal to resolve what it says is their perceived inconsistency. The ministry says that the appeal argues for a harmonization of the retirement provisions, maintaining the intended retirement benefits for all affected public officers as per sections 2.2 for the DPP and 3.2 for the Auditor General, in alignment with the Constitution. The release says that the government remains committed to ensuring that statutory and constitutional amendments serve the intended purposes without ambiguity or disadvantage to any public officer. In other news now, 22-year-old Zidane Barnes, otherwise called Willie, a higgler of Tarrington Park, Kingston 12, has been slapped with several charges following an incident at a business establishment on Studio One Boulevard, Kingston 5, on Thursday, August 17, 2023. Barnes was charged with 2 counts of wounding with intent, 2 counts of malicious destruction of property, assault at common law for 4 counts of possession of a prohibited weapon, conspiracy to commit robbery, and using a firearm to commit a felony. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police are that about 5:15 p.m., Barnes and another man entered the establishment posing as customers. The men brandished firearms and pointed it at a woman as they tried to rob her before opening gunfire at other persons. When the shooting subsided, the complainants were found suffering from gunshot wounds. They were assisted to hospital, treated, and released. On Thursday, April 11, Barnes was arrested and taken into custody, where he was subsequently charged after he was positively identified during an identification parade. A court date for him is being finalized. You're listening to news on NRP Radio, your primary Christian source for news, sports, and the weather on nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. Now let's give you some sporting information brought to you by Four Seasons Sports Closet. They are in Mandeville in Manchester. That's Four Seasons Sports Closet and Equipment, Mandeville in Manchester, Jamaica.
Four Seasons Sports and Equipment, the Sports Closet, now located at shop number 3, Leaders Plaza, Nashville, Mandeville, Manchester. Call them today at 876-613-7429. Cellular phone 876-363-8323 or 876-546-0630. Yes, you asked for it and now you got it. Four Seasons Sports and Equipment. Shop with us for a wide range of sporting goods and equipment. It's Four Seasons Sports and Equipment. Sports Closet, you'll never go asking for anymore.
All right, and we are heading now into our sports stories right here inside of our NRP Break of Day newscast. Stand by. And And we tee off on tennis. Kyrene Wilson completed a 10-1 first round thrashing of Dominic Dale, but missed out on making his second maximum 147 break at the Crucible. Wilson, the 2020 runner-up, held an 8-1 lead after the first session against 52-year-old Welshman Dale, the oldest player at this year's World's Snooker Championship. The Englishman made a break of 65 to move on frame away and then potted 11 reds and 11 blacks as he aimed to make only the 15th maximum at the Sheffield venue since it started hosting the tournament in 1977. But he missed a red as his break ended at 88. If he had completed it, it would have been Wilson's second 147 in successive years at the Crucible after he made one in a 10-5 first round win over Ryan Day in 2023. There is a prize pot of £40,000 for a 147 at this year's main draw event, with the money to be shared if more than one player makes a maximum. On football, 2 Premier League footballers have been arrested in connection with an alleged rape. The pair, both aged 19, were released on bail after being interviewed by police. The players are at the same club, which declines to comment on the allegations. A police spokesperson said officers have arrested the 2 men following a report of rape. The spokesman added that a 19-year-old was arrested on suspicion of assault and aiding and abetting a rape, while a second 19-year-old was arrested on a suspicion of rape. Both men have since been released on a police bail. The allegations were first reported by the Sun newspaper, which said the alleged attack took place on Friday. Finally, on cricket, Australia pace bowler Xavier Bartlett will join up with Kent for their first 8 games of the season's T20 Blast. Kent announced the signing of the 25-year-old at the end of February, and under the terms of his initial contract, he was set to be available for 5 of the opening 7 county championship matches, as well as at least the first 8 fixtures of the T20 Blast. Cricket Australia withdrew him from the planned stint after a busy winter playing in his homeland, but it has now been confirmed that Bartlett will link up with Kent for the start of their T20 competition. That's sports, brought to you by Four Seasons Sports Closet and Equipment. They're over there in Mandeville in Manchester, Jamaica. Join us again this evening inside our NRP Evening News Roundup for more. That's the local news and sports. Stand by now for the latest international news, courtesy of the Voice of America.
This is VOA News. I'm Laurel Bowman. The U.S. Senate has approved billions of dollars in foreign aid for Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan after months of delay, with lawmakers lauding the bipartisan effort and passing the 4 bills in one package. That also clears the way for a potential TikTok ban, Reuters' Diane Toe reports.
A sweeping foreign aid package cleared the final hurdle in the U.S. Congress with ease late on Tuesday to provide fresh funding to Ukraine and Israel after months of delay. The Senate approved the $95 billion package by a wide margin of 79 to 18 votes. It was a combination of 4 bills. $61 billion goes to defending Ukraine against Russian advances in its war. $26 billion is for Israel, as well as humanitarian aid for civilians in conflict zones around the world, while some $8 billion will help Taiwan and other countries in the Indo-Pacific, quote, counter communist China.
That was Reuters' Diane Toe reporting. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has begun a critical trip to China, armed with a strengthened diplomatic hand following that Senate approval of the foreign aid package, which could force TikTok's China-based parent company to sell the social media platform, an area of contention between Washington and Beijing. VOA's Tommy McNeil reports.
Blinken arrived in Shanghai Wednesday, just hours after the U.S. Senate vote on the long-stalled legislation And shortly before, President Joe Biden is expected to sign it into law to demonstrate U.S. resolve in defending its allies and partners. Passage of the bill will add further complications to an already complex relationship strained by disagreements over numerous global and regional disputes. Tommy McNeil, VOA News.
And asylum seekers in England say they are afraid of being sent to Rwanda after the UK Parliament passed a proposal for their deportation. This is VOA News. AP correspondent Donna Warder now reports on emergency abortions going before the U.S. Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court is considering whether emergency abortions can be performed in states that have enacted abortion bans.
And that is the end of the international news right here on NRP Radio. And just to let you know that we do have the weather report and forecast for you, courtesy of the Met Service. The Met Service says that there is a significant feature of a trough across Jamaica. The trough is expected to remain across Jamaica over the next few days. In the 24-hour forecast this morning, expect partly cloudy conditions across northeastern parishes, otherwise mainly sunny. This afternoon, partly cloudy. Tonight, mainly a fair. And looking at the 3-day forecast starting tomorrow, Thursday through to Saturday, partly cloudy across northeastern parishes, otherwise mainly sunny in the morning. Afternoon, isolated showers across sections of southern parishes and hilly areas. Expect windy conditions across northern parishes as well. There is a stationary front across the Bahamas, a high pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. And let's look at the maximum temperatures expected for Kingston and Montego Bay today. They are 33 degrees Celsius for Kingston and 32 degrees Celsius for Montego Bay. That is the latest weather report and forecast right here on NRP Radio. And we wrap things up this morning with the headlines once again of our news that we carried. Confusion abounds this morning as reports and counter reports reported to be from the Integrity Commission suggesting a recommendation has been made for former Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Dwayne Vaz, to be formally charged for corruption. Young Jamaica, the youth arm of the Jamaica Labour Party, calls on PNP President to take immediate action in light of the damning Integrity Commission recommendation. Government has formally filed an appeal in the retirement age dispute now before the courts. And in sports, 2 Premier League footballers have been arrested in connection with an alleged rape. The full half-an-hour package of news from this NRP newsroom came to you courtesy of NRP Radio, reaching you where you are. No boundaries, no limitations. We invite you to join us again this evening at 6:30 for the NRP Evening News Roundup. And on behalf of the entire news team, my name is Leon Nash. And the word of God in Luke 1:46 and 47 says, "My soul praises the Lord. My heart rejoices in God, my Savior." This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 7 a.m. And the word of God in Luke 1:46 and 47 says, "My soul praises the Lord. My heart rejoices in God, my Savior." This is NRP Media and Radio. The time is 7 a.m. Right, we're standing by now for the latest from the camp of Reverend Paul Blair with the program Let the Word Speak. That's coming your way momentarily right here on this station. That's nrpmediaja.com. So if you're on Facebook Live and YouTube at this time, we would want to encourage you to go on over to the radio platform at nrpmediaja.com for the latest from Reverend Paul Blair. The program is Let the Word Speak. Leon Nash here, checking out and handing over now to the radio platform of NRP Media JA. The program coming up next will be Let the Word Speak. Until then, Have for yourself a wonderful and good rest of your morning. And we look forward to catching up with you come again this afternoon. Bless you, bless you, bless you everywhere. And we thank all those of you who stopped by and to be part of the team. Have a good day. Until then. It's new. It's the Upper Room at 8 p.m., the newest and most riveting and engaging discussion program on biblical matters. Once again, right here on nrpmediaja.com every Sundays, 8 to 10 p.m. It's all about things you know, things you thought you know, and things you're not truly sure about. nrpmediaja.com, reaching you where you are